right, we are here. We are here. We are here. Are you there?
I am here.
Let me make sure with our settings. Go ahead and say something.
I am here.
Okay, good.
Yes,
You are
yes.
definitely there from what I can see. Ooh, what a day it is. What a day it is to
Ah,
stop here, to start here, I should say, on taking the journey. Boy,
it's been a journey today,
oh, it
for
has been
sure.
today when it comes to just in life in general. It could
Yes,
be a journey, especially today, but it's something where you like to keep it as an adventure.
yes,
You also would like to keep it so that the venture will be something that's not too troubling, too perplexed, doesn't have your blood pressure go up, or you rather have that venture to be more exciting. So if the blood
and
pressure is going up,
pleasurable.
it is as a pleasurable and it's exciting and it's a
Yes,
good thing that's happening in your life. But to make that happen, because life is not always going to come that way for you, you got to use some maintenance.
yes.
That's what we'll be talking about today. But before that, my name is Craig.
And I'm Sharon or Zare.
For those who have not been on our channel before, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And we are taking the journey together. And I'm going to start off with our vision statement or our belief statement.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes like this.
Goes a little bit something like this.
Yes, we are going to relate. It doesn't matter what your mother says, your father says, your children, or even what Jesus says. We are going to relate. At taking the journey together, we believe in relating in a balanced manner. Balanced relationships are the ones that are entered into as friends first and lovers second, but has both aspects in each partner.
Yes, it definitely does. What do you think about that?
I think that is ideal, actually,
Mm-hmm.
because at some point in time, if you are not with a person that you feel is your friend, a person that you connect with on a level of friendship, what do you have? I mean, how strong is a relationship if it is based on um, other factors, but there is no friendship?
Well, one thing is for sure, if you're going to have that base of friendship on, to keep it in the arena or keep it in the energy of friendship, um, there's going to have to be maintenance
Absolutely.
because there's no way every day, every week, every month in life, like they may show on TV, that you're not going to have problems and hiccups and heartaches and all that stuff in a relationship.
And
There's
some
one
of
thing
them
that's
aren't.
certain about in life is change.
Yes.
That's the thing that's certain in life. I know on TV shows, if you watch the drama, soap operas, but you don't get too much to see the changes you have to go in life in most of these shows. And when they do, they give the perception that most of the time the shows in life that do with relationships are very, how can I say it, extreme.
Yes.
Any other thing in between, you don't pay attention to. So it gives the perception that if there is going to be any change in life, it's going to be nothing but extremes. And
Hmm.
who really wants to deal with extremes? And who many times is prepared for extremes, whether you have money saved in the bank, whether you have good relationship with your family, or good relationship with someone else like a doctor or a lawyer or a mechanic, to deal with those large, even AC person,
Right.
deal with those large extreme problems that develop in the
Right.
relationship.
Because what I was getting ready to say is
Hmm.
sometimes the issues that you have to deal with are not even between they're not because of issues with the couple. It's because of outside influences
Exactly.
that come in and cause a rift.
Yes, outside influences are very much some of the things that we have to be concerned about when it comes to relationships because those very things, very, I said very two times, didn't I?
Yes, you
Very,
did.
very,
So I
very,
guess it's very, very.
can be extremely, like the word better, extremely, can extremely cause complexities in the relationship.
Yes.
Sometimes it's best, wise, to step
Very, very.
out of some of those activities that you're
Hmm.
involved with that cause that extreme, that cause that pressure. Or some
Yes.
people say you got too many irons in the fire. Sometimes you do that. We have been known in the past to have too many irons in the fire,
Hmm.
and that means that fire is hotness of, how can I say it, energy of feelings can get very hot, and then you can get very sometimes move into the area of resentment, in the area of angst, in the area of anger, in the area of rage. Where you want to go out and really hurt somebody for some stuff that they're doing that you figure that they should be doing, or they
Yes.
think they have a right to be able to do, and they don't.
Mm.
But the maintenance that's important in your relationship is to keep you from getting to that level, and that you add certain aspects of doing maintenance, because it's going to keep you balanced, it's going to keep you happy or
Yes.
healthy, not necessarily always happy, but it's
Right.
going to keep you also fulfilled.
And that's very, very important. And we in the past, this is, I think, our third episode or dealing with relationship maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
And in the past, we have talked about mutual respect, we've talked about active listening, and we've talked about intimacy and affection. So those are three very, um, very strong areas.
Shout out to Miss Gates
And
and Mrs. Jade. Just giving a little shout out real quickly to
yes.
those who are coming. Hello, Mrs. Kanda, right?
Hmm.
Who else would say shout out to? Shout out to Mr. Dexter, oh, Mr. Young. How's about that? Is that better? And then look at Mr. Milner. He says, I'm watching. Glad to see that you're watching too. So go ahead.
Yes.
You were saying something else again. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I was just saying that those are three areas that are very important uh, for you to lay as a foundation, and it's a part of it's the first three letters of maintenance that are represented there,
Mm-hmm.
and so a very good way to start, very, very good foundation to have there.
Yeah. That mutual, mutual respect. I didn't have my, my voice is kind of crowded here. I didn't have our new music that we had someplace on. I got to find that word tab, but go ahead.
Yeah, so today we are going to start with focusing on nurturing growth,
Mm-hmm.
and that is very um, important because from a friendship level, this is one of those things that happens without a lot of thought, where you support each other's personal growth, goals, and aspirations while growing together as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we get in the idea that because we are um, interdependent, that it's all about what we do together. But sometimes there are things that are aspirations that we have
Yes.
personally.
Yeah. So what do we do when we have those times and we know that our inspirational as a couple we want to do, and outside influences are trying to come in to sabotage that? What kind of maintenance should we do? And should the maintenance be the same kind of maintenance that we're talking about and doing within the relationship? Because our relationships do have to deal with outside influences,
Yes.
whether it's the parents, whether it's the children, or sometimes friends or so-called friends, or past or business excuse me, that you're dealing with or dealt with you. How do we deal that specifically by using some of our maintenance techniques to help keep that balance and that healthiness?
Well, we definitely have to start off with some respect. We have to respect where each other happens to land.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the reasons why I was saying that the first three that we've already covered are very important in what we're in those types of situations.
Mm-hmm.
They're like laying the foundation to it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you have that mutual respect and these kind of go hand in hand, then you are going to be more willing to listen and
Mm-hmm.
find out what's really going on,
Mm-hmm.
and look at what the situation is. And if it's a situation that you're both in together, that definitely calls for some communication, where you have to listen to one another closely,
Exactly.
and that attention to the details that's
Hmm.
being stated or being played out definitely has to be a part of it. So, um, so that's basically where you are when you're dealing with outside influence.
So where do we leave off last time? We were talking about maintenance in a relationship and how important it is to keep it balanced and keep it healthy, keep it sensual, keep it sexy. All those things that needs to be incorporated, to be involved, to be activated in a long-term relationship. Hey, I just thought about something when it came to balance healthy relationships. That sexual area, the financial area, the psychological area, the spiritual level, the intellectual level, the intimacy, um, all of those different holistic points that have to do with connecting with you as a being, connecting with your mate, to keep them all balanced and operating on a, I say on cylinders, good cylinders, like an idle of the car, the idles nice in level with harmony. I can see that as being another word for fulfill. I'll say it again. I can see that for another word for fulfilling. If your relationship is fulfilling and you're trying to move it to be fulfilling, a relationship is going to be based on a hot principle, right? Honest, open, and transparent, but it's going to have that respect and mutual understanding. If all those things are working and it's idly nice, using the car again, okay, balance and harmony, resonance, most of the time, of course, because that's what the maintenance is supposed to bring you to. You can look forward to that being something that's part of, or if not, is fulfilling.
Yes.
What else fulfilling would be in a relationship between two
Right.
beings? Huh? You wearing a red hat and you wearing a blue hat, and that makes that whole relationship all together balanced and perfect? No, it's got to be all those areas if they're balanced. And in turn, we're operating in harmony, and we're operating both where we are grounded and balanced and thriving together. That's got to be what I would call fulfilling. Wouldn't you?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Because you have to, when anytime you're on the same page
Mm-hmm.
and things are clicking, that's always fulfilled. It gives you a certain high or um, a certain feeling of, I don't want to say euphoria, but it's close to that.
Hold on, we got someone who Keith Williams says,
Okay.
Kane, I'm sorry, says maintaining close relationships is an important human motivation. However, even the most stable relationship are faced with challenging threat. Although commitment is associated with relationship stability, it is the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that commitment promotes that helps sustain relationships in the long run. No doubt about it. I have nothing wrong with what you say as you expand that particular area called maintenance. There's no doubt about it. You got to have the thoughts of wanting to maintain. You got to have the thoughts of feeling that is important. You got to show the behaviors and commitment on wanting to maintain.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. You can have a nice car. Look, I'm using car analogy again. You could have a nice car, no doubt about it. But you don't have to take care of it. You don't have to want to take care of it. You don't want to. You can have a behaviors where you always are driving that gas that's heavy foot on the floor, never putting any gas in, any oil in it, just running that engine hard, and you think nothing about me. So we're talking about what is your motive, or in this case, what is your purpose being involved in a relationship? Well, when we are talking about balanced relationships right now, and we're talking about thriving relationships, you are already in that relationship where you are there for a purpose. You are already in that relationship where you already are committed, and your behaviors are at least wanting to go that direction. Your thoughts are already too.
Right.
Okay, so we're not necessarily talking about Mr. Williams. If you may want to say those, how can I say it? Not striving, but I guess striving relationship where that basic level is not even there. We're
Right.
talking about
Right.
relationships that are already there, and those are the relationships taking the journey together are speaking to. So we're trying to help you expand. We're trying to help you explore. We're trying to in turn make it so that your relationship, like an automobile, like a car, however it may be, is going to run even better than what it did and what it can be from before.
Right.
So you're going to be operating, hopefully, with some of these maintenance principles, knowing that when you do these things, you're going to be fulfilling your relationship. And both of you guys are going to operate in that area. Now, don't forget when you do that, you both can't be so independent that you can't even connect with one another, and you basically don't even know how to do what you call interdependence, which is very important.
And to be that separated, that independent, you are not going to be in a thriving situation. I don't think, because I feel like if you're that far separated, where you forget that you're in an interdependent situation, there's already the struggle there.
Yeah. There's definitely already a struggle. Well, but they do say when it comes to the social struggle that had to do with African Americans, without a struggle,
There is no progress.
there is no progress. And we don't live in a world that's perfect. And we don't believe in a balanced relationship that's perfect in the first
Right.
place. In fact, balance is not about being perfect. Balance is all about trying to get it perfect from that end. Usually perfect has to do with extremes one way or the other.
Yeah.
So from that end, there's going to be some struggle. Maintenance is all about trying to work through the struggle. One of the struggle may be I don't respect to you. So you're going to have to work through that respect to see if you two are going to respect one another. Maybe you're not a good listener. You don't have good listening skills. Well, part of maintenance is you're going to work on your maintenance. Well, both of you, or one may have to work on it more than the other person. But you're going to want to do that. You're going to be dedicated to it because why? You want a balanced, healthy relationship. You're there. You just need some help to in turn move you that direction. Just like everybody needs some help in life when it comes to them who want to do better and be better. We do it so much on our job, it's not even funny. We never think about it much when it comes to our relationship.
No, we really don't, because we put in so much more time at our job that we feel like that's the hard part of life, and the relationship is the easy part of life. And that could not be further from the truth.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we got somebody else who said something. Who's this? And you want to go ahead and read it, man?
Married couples and long-term romantic partners typically engage in a variety of behaviors that sustain and nourish the relationship. These actions promote higher levels of commitment, which benefit couples' physical and psychological health. Ooh, a new study from the University of Illinois Urbana campaign, looks at how such relationship maintenance behaviors interact with satisfaction and behavior.
I'm being a little jokey, but I guess sometimes if you add some champagne on in a relationship, you're going to be able to have some good, relaxing, pleasurable
Yes,
times together. That's
absolutely.
just as important too when it comes to balance,
Mhm.
healthy, fulfilling relationship. Some people talk about they have a balanced or happy relationship. They ain't never smiled with one another.
Right.
They never laughed with one another. I ain't talking about smiling and laughing in the public. I'm talking about with each other
When there's
at
nobody
all.
around but them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If the public gets it, that's icing on the cake. But they don't do it much at all with
Right.
each other. They may go to a job and smile, customer service, all that good stuff. Once they get home, whoop, I know who you are.
Yeah.
Put on that mug face and
Turn
don't even
back.
do no joking, no silliness, don't do nothing
Mhm.
whatsoever from that end. So, yeah, no doubt about that. Thank you for that too. I appreciate that, don't you?
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
think you got something else too. Early on, relationships are easy. Everything is new and exciting. Yeah, sometimes we come with that ambassador.
Yeah.
We come with that person that's somebody else during the courting period, just to get along and catch that
Yeah.
person. Then once that kind of wears off, uh-oh.
Okay. Well,
Yep. So we got to go on dates, take trips, spend time together. And what's that again?
intentionally cultivate experiences that allow your relationship to grow.
That's some good maintenance right there.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
some good overall maintenance. Let's see what someone else thinks. A lot of people talking today. I like that. Go ahead. Oh, you all right?
Yes. Allergy. Let's get the test. Yeah. Go by.
Yeah. Got another one. Mr. Jacob Oran, right?
Yes.
Relationship maintenance encompasses a wide range of activities that partners
Use to preserve
preserve
their
their
relationship.
relationship. Wow. I'm gonna have to get one of those electronic excitement samples. We have to give him one for bringing up. I hope the next time I might be able to try to get one. I forgot what we called at this time, but it would certainly be good. You should get a hand clap over that. You really should get a hand clap. All right,
There
so
we go.
let's move on. Where did we go and where did we leave off the last time?
We finished in and affection,
Mhm.
and I was just today starting nurturing growth.
Okay, nurturing
Yeah.
and growth. Nurturing
Yes.
and growth. So
Supporting
quoting.
each other's personal growth goals and aspirations while growing as a couple.
Now, that can be a typical, excuse me, wrong word. That can be a difficult thing in relationships where both are professional, both of them have been operating mostly independent, and both of them are just downright headstrong.
Yeah.
It could be very, very difficult for that to happen. Can you tell me why, Shannon, why you think it would be difficult?
Because they are both on their own path,
Mhm.
and they don't necessarily see the other's path as something that they need to interact with.
Exactly. The word would be support. Because they've been
Yeah.
so used to either culturally conditioned that you do your own thing, support your own path, you don't need anybody else.
Right.
And when you're in relationships, you're doing the same thing.
Mhm.
Or your career itself gives the perception you really don't need to do anything when it comes to relating to your mate.
Yeah.
When you're done with your job, you keep it on your job, you don't take it home whatsoever, so you don't relate with one another. But yet your job may be compromised in such a way, not compromised, but pushed in such a way that says you need to do better. Hey, let's give you promotions and we'll help support you with that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you look at maybe that growth of personal growth goals and aspirations. I've seen some couples only seek that out, only had that presented in their relationship from their employment, from their job,
Yeah.
from their career. They do not either expect or may be surprised when their mate presents that. And if that mate has that same feeling, no one gets any real support.
Right.
No one gets any real growth help whatsoever. No one gets no aspirations. In fact, most of the time, if they are speaking, because of that lack of actual closeness that comes out of two beings connected together, whether they admit it or not, they can sometimes be quite antagonistic and move into that realm of what you doing here anyway?
Yes.
Why are you here? They may not say that loud, but they might feel that inside. What are you doing here? What do you need to be here? You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because they have not been used to trying to connect or support one another. It's been outside, and we're talking about jobs. I didn't even get into, and I'm going to stop real quick. I'm not going to get into when you get outside influence from mom, dad, family.
Yeah.
Maybe that lady on the side or that guy on the side. Yeah.
And then going back to jobs, there's
Mhm.
always that attitude of I've been in this job for so long,
Mm.
and this is something that was a part of me. You could have even been in it 2 or 3 years, but it was 2 or 3 years that you were in it
Mhm.
before you were in the relationship, and the attitude is he wouldn't understand what I do anyway, or she wouldn't understand
Mhm.
what I do
Mhm.
anyway, which is a feeling or a decision
Amazing.
that you are
Mhm.
um, less than,
Thank
or
you,
you
Orb.
are, or you are not as intelligent, or you are not as on top of things.
Mhm.
And that in itself can cause a separation when the thing that can fix all of that is say, okay, well, maybe you don't understand the job that I'm in. You don't understand the stresses that I'm under at this job. Maybe I make it look easy,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but that's a misnomer because I don't want my employer to think that I'm struggling. So I
Yes.
have to make it look easy. And so I make it look easy to everybody. And so, but the thing that can fix that is simple communication and asking, saying, look, my job is stressing me out. I need us to do this, that, or the other in order to help with stress. But it could be that both people are having stress from their jobs, but nobody's talking about it.
Oh yeah. Exactly. Because that's what we're trying to help everybody out is that
Mhm.
that we're not always operating in a balanced way with one another, our business of our jobs. So the idea many times at that balanced level of personal growth and goals and aspirations why we're growing Novus together. I left that word out. I know you did too, because many of us who may hear this are saying, and yeah, that's life, that happens, but you ideally are talking something that's really ideal. But hey, listen, in a balanced, healthy relationship, one of the fulfilling or one of the things that you want to fulfill in that relationship is that both of you two are growing together.
Right.
Now, when I talked about the fulfilling part, I hope they didn't think, or you didn't think, the fulfilling part was only you being
Being
fulfilled in
fulfilled.
all of those holistic
Right.
areas, mind, soul, intellect, body, and all that stuff.
Both have to be
Both.
fulfilled. Yeah.
Because a balanced relationship is all about interconnectivity,
Exactly.
where
You're
you
not in a
can do
relationship by yourself.
exactly. You can do more with somebody
Somebody
else
else
than
than
what
you
you
can
can
do
do by
alone.
yourself. So fulfilling means both of you
Yeah.
or sharing and growing
Mhm.
and having aspiration and personal growth what together as a couple.
Exactly.
Yeah, both of you share.
So nurturing growth is really important. And the other thing that happens sometimes is sometimes one of the people in a relationship wants a career change,
Mm-hmm.
or they want to um, experience something that they've been passionate about for a long time and never had the opportunity to try it
Mm-hmm.
out or see where it will go, and wants to spend some extra time with that. Will you be supportive
Mm-hmm.
as a partner? And that's what's important, because it may be something that is important, something that will you
Mm-hmm.
know flourish.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
if you don't support your partner in that, who will ever know?
Exactly.
And that's where you can get some animosity built up too.
No doubt about it. Here, someone definitely said something.
And
Did we do this one before?
no,
No. Go ahead. What you read that, man?
it also actively strengthens the characteristics of love and commitment. Relationship maintenance occurs by incorporating five major strategies. Relationship maintenance strategies include assurance, openness, positivity, social network, and task sharing.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for the additions to our maintenance steps that
Yeah,
we brought up. There's so many other types of maintenance steps that you can use to, in this particular case, maintain your relationship in
right.
a balanced way. Definitely.
And I love the fact that some of our viewers are
Our young ones.
educating themselves
Exactly.
and sharing that education with us,
Definitely.
so that you can tell that we're not just throwing things out there for the sake of throwing things out there.
Well, I know.
But this
I think it has everything to do with that we don't know everything,
Exactly.
but we know some things.
Oh,
And some of
absolutely.
these things can be very helpful in your
Yeah.
relationship because, number one, not only are we trying to practice it and practice it, but we at least have a couple of days, a couple of years, a couple of months called experience
Oh, yeah.
that does help out in your travel in life and the adventure that you go through. No doubt about it. So I say, like an old preacher used to say to me, sometimes you may have to take this, put it in your deep freezer, because one day you may have to pull it out.
Yeah. Start out and get ready.
Well, we got to get ready to go to it. You must show.
Yes, we
So
do.
then we're going to go back and listen to some of those questions. So
Okay.
comments. So stay tuned to us. Stay tuned with us, I should say. We'll be right back. Right back. Take care and peace. All right, we are back. We are back. Just wanted to have you take a look at one of our WOW events that we
Yes.
did. And on that
Should
note,
be having another one in the next few months.
exactly, we're going to also give you some information on how you can get a hold of us. Being that we also do counseling. I'm sorry, something's in the studio. So we also do counseling. I mean, coaching specifically.
Yeah.
They have to do with that areas that you might be want as your goal. You might be having a relationship or in a relationship, but one of your goals that you're thinking about right now is I want to have more maintenance. I need to add more maintenance. Well, we can help you in getting those steps done that can move you into doing more maintenance or starting maintenance itself.
Yes. Especially, if you're new at it, what better way to enter into a relationship than with principles and guidance that will help you to only strengthen your relationship.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All amazing. And by the way, you're getting some free information that you would probably get if you were with other counselors and coach people that would tell you once you come to the door, come to the office, and they would charge you. But anyway, we're doing this freely as we're giving back to the community because we want to see relationships operate in that balanced way. So, did you tell them where they can find us at all, or did I pull it off too
You
fast?
hadn't pulled it up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here you go.
takingthejourney-together.com, or you can email us at ttjt at takingthejourney-together.com. On Facebook, we're at TTJ Together, and Instagram, we are Taking the J Together. Or you can call us at 912-421-8862.
All right, you made it just in time.
I did it.
What's another place that they can find us at?
They can also find us on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on WRUU, low power radio station 107.5. That's Taking the Journey Together, Saturday morning, 9 to 10 a.m. WRUU.
Yes. Okay, let's go back. Let's
Yes.
go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. Use the Sankofa way of going back and finding those things that we did in the past where we have to or need to learn a lesson from. Pull it all the way to now and also use it. Okay. Hey, maintenance is definitely one of those kind of techniques of things that you're going to have to use in many of the things that you will have to move forward. I mean, the different techniques. Come to think of it, you'll be using, right?
Yes, and maintenance really needs to be handled every day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
really
not
does.
it's not one of those things that you wait until the water is flooding up past your door to decide to start bailing water out of the house. It's too
Mhm.
late then. No, you keep a check on it and you do something every day. I mean, it's not that difficult to sit down and say, "Hey, babe, what was your day like today? You know, anything you want to talk to me about?"
Yeah,
Um,
anything.
yeah.
Anything. Hey, let's real quickly take a look and see what someone is saying out there. Lydia J. Hello, Lydia J. Good evening, morning, or wherever you are in this part of the world, taking your journey together. So, talk to us. What is she saying?
Relationships can become routine after a while. That is so true.
Mm-hmm.
Make special time together and continue to show your affection. Even just snuggling on the couch after work helps show intimacy. Make your relationship a priority. It can be hard to balance relationships, work, family, and friends. It definitely can.
Mhm.
And, when you have um, a lot of responsibility at work and then you come home and you have the routine things that are necessary at home, it just becomes overwhelming sometimes. But that's when you say to your partner, you know what, I'm feeling like I'm just about ready to just throw everything off the table. That's an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. And that's when the other partner needs to step in and say, okay, what can I do to relax you at this point? How about I get you a spa date on Saturday? How about you go out and just spend some time with your friends? Or let me just take the kids someplace and you can, have some time to yourself. And that is not a male or female role. That is an any partner role.
Yes.
Any partner can take the kids so that the other partner can have some time to themselves. Any partner can say, go hang out with your friends for a little while, or can say, go to the spa. Yes, men go to spas too. Okay, it's very important.
Exactly.
And sometimes go together. Get a babysitter and go together.
Exactly. Wow. Yeah, exactly. In addition to helping provide the necessary support, establishing and maintaining positive relationships also is good for your health. Oh, exactly.
Yes, it
That's why we
is.
call it a healthy relationship.
Yes.
They can boost your happiness, reduce stress, improve confidence, and help you cope with trauma events. Wow.
Yeah.
PTSD. I'm going to have to come up with something with it when it comes to dealing with relationships. Another acronym. I'll come up with another acronym next time that is directly connected to relationships.
Yeah.
I'm from that end. But
And
hey, you're right.
PTSD is very real in relationships.
Lewis
And
is
sometimes
right.
we have triggers that we don't even know are there.
Exactly.
Traumas that happen to us
Thank you, Louis.
way back in our lives that we've pushed so far back that we don't even recognize them anymore. We don't know they're there. And sometimes even when we say them, when the opportunity does come to express them, we're like, whose experience was this? It couldn't have been mine. But the details that you have to know that yes, that was yours.
Yeah. Or they sometimes. I mean, we just have to admit sometimes we can be jaded.
Yeah.
We can have hard feelings. We can have a streak of rudeness. And we may default to that area that says, I really don't give a damn or I don't care.
Right.
And when you run in that level or you stay in that route or that rut, you are definitely going to only stay at the survival level.
Right.
You are not going to be concerned about trying to build maintenance. I just do that because you just going on with what you said. Sometimes you see that vein in relationships, and I see it covered up under this guise of it is what it is. No, it don't have to be as that.
Right.
It doesn't have to be. In fact, you don't want it is like that.
No.
Okay. You want it to be like something else,
Yes.
but not like that. Maintenance can help you get you out of that rut.
Yeah.
And work. Now, again, you got to both feel it. You got to both respect it. You got to both have that mutual understanding.
Yes.
And taking the journey, we believe those who will listen to us are at least at that level.
Mhm.
At least have that commitment with one another, connection with one another.
Yes.
And what we're doing is trying to help you get a little bit more, move a little bit further, and in turn, how can I say, get that much more healthy and thrive in your relationship. Well, the way things are going today, you're going to need that even that much more.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And that coincides or leads in real well
Mm-hmm.
to our next letter, the T,
Mm-hmm.
which is trust and transparency.
Mm-hmm.
Because as you're supporting each other, you're also building and maintaining trust through an open and honest communication.
Mm-hmm.
And being transparent about thoughts, feelings, and action is what it takes or what is required
Mm-hmm.
in order for that transparency to be there. And in order for that transparency to be there, trust is also there.
Exactly. Trust is definitely always there.
Yes. So, those two things kind of go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
And we really have to focus on building trust within our relationships. One incident of trust, how do I say this? One situation in which trust is broken down, which could be one little lie.
Hey, just thank Mr. Piper to both make this show so amazing. Thank you very much. You're listening, giving us your concerns and questions. You also make this show amazing because we're all right now taking that journey together,
Yes,
aren't we?
definitely. Yeah. Yes. So, and
Spit it out.
I lost where I was. I truly lost where I was.
Well, you just were so
But
amazed as I was amazed.
we were talking about trust and transparency. I
Mhm.
remember that, but I can't remember what my thought was
Well, just move
on
on.
that. And so, that's
Mhm.
exactly what I'm about to do. But we have to also always work at building that trust.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know what I was about to say. That when we are, the slightest little thing that we do that
Mhm.
breaks that trust, it takes a lot more to rebuild that trust that was broken. And so, it's best to stay open, understand what are deal breakers, the trust breakers for your partner. And I mean, nobody's perfect. So inadvertently, you may do something that makes them feel uncomfortable
Mm-hmm.
or tampers with that trust.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to be able to talk about it and work through it and rebuild it. And that's always, and that too is a part of maintenance.
Exactly. Definitely part of maintenance. Definitely part of maintenance. Boy, I'm so excited that we are maintaining this show so far.
Yes.
Thank you for all the love. Isn't that a lot of love there?
And there's a lot of love.
Thank you,
Yes.
Mrs. She. Thank you for that love. Linda Low. Ken. Thank you for that love too. We definitely in
Yes, we
turn
appreciate it.
appreciate it.
Yes.
Definitely appreciate it. Okay, so where are we going from here?
Well, we are still dealing with empathy and
Empathy.
no, 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 trust and transparency.
Okay.
Unless there's nothing else you need to say about trust and transparency.
You tell me. There should be some more.
Yes.
You tell me. Trust and transparency. Building and maintain trust through open and honest. Oh, you want me to mostly do this? What? Why?
No, I was just talking about it.
Yeah, but
I
did it
said
very
unless
good.
there's something else you want to add.
Ah, well,
Yeah.
I didn't. I guess being transparent. That part I didn't hear too well when it comes to thoughts, feelings, and actions.
Yeah, well, you're doing several things at the same time.
Yeah, exactly,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
So, what did you say about that then?
I just said that you need to have, in a nutshell, you need to have uh, open communication, which is that transparency. Because sometimes we may inadvertently do something to shake or shatter or mess with that trust issue. Because sometimes you will do things accidentally that lowers your partner's trust level. And sometimes that's because of the triggers that they may have.
Mm-hmm.
That you that have has not arisen in the relationship yet.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's something that you know about, but it just happens anyway. But you need to be able to talk about it so you can start rebuilding that trust immediately, not letting it simmer, not letting it just sit there, not letting it erode more.
Mm-hmm.
But get out there, you know, how you're disappointed, how whatever the other person did made you feel, and the other person needs to be open to hearing and accept it.
On that note, I thought you were going to, in that area, at least move and give them one of our hot techniques that we talk about. That would be right there. No, 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 no. Especially since it was trust and transparency. Obviously,
I thought you were talking.
obviously,
I thought you were talking.
I'm not being transparent enough.
No, I thought you were talking about a technique as opposed to one of the letters of the acronym.
Well, that would not be specifically what I was talking about.
Okay.
I was talking about a technique, and no doubt about it. If it is one of the acronyms, since you want to go there, which one is it?
It's the last one. It's the T. Transparency.
Well, once you give us what hot is, I would think that you would want to always make sure you present that kind of strategy at all times, because it's a good strategy to use when it comes to maintenance anyway in the first place.
And it also is strong in building trust or rebuilding trust, whichever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
And hot, which is one of the things that we teach
Coined?
we coined it.
We got a trademark, so you can't take it with you.
Exactly. But we also teach it in our workshops.
Mm-hmm.
And some of our date nights, we also go into that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But HOT is an acronym, and it stands for honest, open, and transparent, which is what we need to do every day. We are sometimes not, but that needs to be our goal and what we strive for.
Exactly. So, trying to not finish, but continue on with what you want me to talk about, which is okay. Trying to be somewhat transparent is how hard it can be when it comes to your thoughts and your feelings. Sometimes we may not even know what kind of words to put to a feeling. It could be a nagging feeling that goes on for last couple of days, and some of us will have a nagging feeling whether it came from a job, maybe it came from a past that's triggers in that relationship, and we're not able to actually speak what that feeling is, but yet the feeling goes on, and in turn it affects our relationship, and it makes it hard for trust and transparency. Can you think of something as a testimony in our relationship that has to do with our trust and transparency that has made it kind of hard for us, but we have worked through that in the relationship when it comes to that particular part?
Oh man,
That many?
Well, you
But let's be honest to it.
it is. And because you take into consideration that we both came from past relationships, past long-term relationships,
Hmm.
and we had a nice long life before
Hmm.
those and during those. We have a lot of what might be considered triggers that we have not necessarily dealt with, but we have pushed aside.
You mean that they will come up
Hmm.
and then we don't necessarily um, point or pay attention to the emotion
Yes.
that was behind it, that was triggered by the other person.
Hmm.
Well, I can think of one we just had not too long ago, without going into detail, where there was something that happened to you uh, pretty personal when you were in college,
Hmm.
and it made you feel very uncomfortable. How it
Yes.
happened, and in turn from there, you were embarrassed openly in front of people with that particular event. And it made you uncomfortable from the standpoint of not feeling good enough as a person, not feeling smart enough as an individual being. And because it was one of those gender games where someone's an alpha male trying to play that in a position of authority in connection to you, it brought in a memory of, how can I say it, uncomfortableness, low energy, that in turn you carry that kind of memory on when it comes to connecting with other males, including me, where sometimes you'll see me and think of me being that particular male
Well,
and
not
think
but in that
in
same
that
light.
same light, of course,
Yes.
and in turn your trigger then approach. Excuse me. I was getting ready to say, and then your trigger has you approach me appropriately. I
That's
choked
not
on the last
appropriate.
word because it wasn't appropriate.
Not at
It
all.
certainly made me
Not
feel
not at all.
uncomfortable and make me feel good.
But the
But
fact that
mhm,
that we talked through it,
yeah,
and because something else came up that led to a question
yeah,
that led to me being transparent and letting that all out.
hmm,
Um, it opened both of our eyes as to why some other people do.
hmm, hmm,
And now, and once we get to that point, and that once we got to that point, it becomes a moment of understanding that now it's time for the healing. It's not an opportunity to sweep it back under the rug, but to say yes, in fact, this did happen. This was the situation, and it is to be um, only focused on the person that was responsible for that situation,
hmm,
and not on any and everyone who speaks to me in a certain way,
hmm,
or expects certain things from me,
hmm,
or um, happens to approach me in a certain with a certain demeanor. I'll put
hmm.
it that way, because it may not they may not even be connected, but the trigger is there, and so in order to be open and transparent about it, it's one of those things that part of that transparency is dealing with it and speaking clearly and freely about it, and whether that speaking is verbally
Hmm.
or written, and because sometimes you write things out and you write out more of your feelings
Hmm.
than what you can speak to someone. And what I usually do is if I write it out, then I'll come back and say, "This is what I wrote. Do you want to hear it?"
Hmm.
And if it's something that he's able to hear, that's fine. But sometimes it's like, not right now, because what is bothering me may also be a trigger for him in a different situation. Okay, and so you have to give that person the your partner the opportunity to say, not right now. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to ever listen to it. I just can't deal with it right
I think the most important thing that's involved with it, when you're in a situation like this, and the transparency is not something that you are purposely keeping from
now.
that other person in the relationship, which would mean that you are not trying to find a balanced approach of presenting trust in the relationship. And there's no doubt about it. You can't operate in a balanced relationship if you're not using trust as being part of that foundation. through friendship, true friendship, to keep that relationship balanced. It's not going to work. No doubt about it. Just like with your true closest friend, you're always very transparent.
Yes.
So through thick or thin, thick as thieves or whatever they call it, you call it about it. So it's almost, the show's almost over.
Yes.
So the main point I was trying to make out of this, outside of sharing what you brought up, was the fact that part of transparency, if you're not doing it purposely whatsoever, is when there are times and you're just operating, I'm trying to be as transparent as you can using the hot principle, then there are going to be sometimes some triggers that are going on in the relationship that you're not clear about, that came from the past. It could then be brought up, represented, brought to the forefront, because you're being transparent, authentic about who you are, because it's important in that relationship, and then you have a way to be able to deal with it. That's all part of what? Supporting one another.
Exactly.
That's all part of sharing with one another. We talked about that up there, that aspiration, the goals, the growth, growing together as a couple. So sometimes these things have to happen so that you can help one another grow.
Because personal growth is not just within the job
Mm.
or within the family. Sometimes that personal growth has to do with you dealing with things that are inside
Yes.
your personal struggles. I was about to
Mhm.
say your personal demons, but I'd rather say your personal struggles.
Hmm.
You know, because not everything is demonic or should be demonized. But struggles are there for the purpose of recognizing them and moving through them.
And how much more would you not want your mate, the one that you love, the one you care for, the one that your partner, the one that you're trying to operate with mutual, what again? Respect and agreement. How much more do you not want that friend of yours to be able to being transparent to help heal her? At the same time, you can help heal too.
Or
So,
vice versa.
vice versa. So, yeah, of course. And so, taking the journey is all about both working together, interdependently, being able to hear one another. When many times you can't do it by yourself. Hey, thank you for being here. Got anything more to say, Sharon? Or we're going to wait till our next time around when we come back?
I just think that I would like for everybody to continue to take that journey.
All right, take care. Be at peace.
I like that.